It's one of the important topic now because of your HCL is specifically asking for what is a virtualization. Okay. So what is virtualization? Guys, before I am going to start, this is a virtual machine. See, these are all different virtual machines. Okay. So this application, we call it as a VMware virtual box. In this, using this application, I'm creating different virtual machines. Okay. So here it is a Windows 10. I have Windows 10 in my PC. And why should I create this another virtual machine and install with the Windows 10 operating system? Because I want to do some practices like a Oracle database, MySQL database, Python. Okay. So some ETL tools, both Informatica and as well as Talend, both I installed in that. Power BI. So I want to check this, how it will be installed, how to configure it, how to do some practical work in it. Okay. So instead of doing in my PC, because if I'm not using every day, only when I get a doubt or when I have that specific class, then only I will do that one. So it's totally data engineering, data analysis related one. Okay. So mainly why I'm using Windows, it is more user friendly, but it take more RAM. Okay. So see, it is I configured specifically 4 GB of RAM for it. Okay. So it is a virtual machine. For example, someone asks to me like I need this virtual machine. So they don't want to install again. So they want this direct virtual machine. I can simply copy and give it to them. You know where it is stored in my hard disk only. This is a virtual machine. It is stored in my machine only. It's not this one. This is the Windows 10 apps. See, this is my virtual machine. The current size of machine itself 136 GB. If I delete it, I'll gain that much space. I don't want to delete it. I have to open it once again. I have to update it. I have to remove some applications. Then I have to do it. Okay. Simply, I'll copy, paste into another machine, copy to external hard disk, connect external hard disk to another machine, paste there, reconfigure it like a with the help of this software. Then they can also get the same applications. In my laptop, I have several applications. In my laptop, also I have so many applications. See it is. I have a Talent Studio is there, Eclipse is there. Okay. So I have a lot of applications. I have this one. Can I simply copy my system and paste into another machine? We cannot do it, right? Directly. At least list to list, not much easy. Okay. It has like I have to extract entire system part and I have to restore into another PC. Okay. So that is not much easy. It's like these virtual machines are decoupled kind of stuff, decoupled, intact with your physical machine. Virtual machines utilize my physical machine resources, but not coupled with my physical machine, but not coupled with the physical machine. Are not contact means not completely mixed with my machine. It is intact, and I can able to install different types of operating system in it. Okay. So this is Windows, this is Linux, CentOS 7. This is Oracle Enterprise Linux 9, CentOS 7, CentOS 7, CentOS 7. Oracle Enterprise Linux 9, CentOS, Ubuntu desktop. This is Ubuntu server. See different operating system I installed. Okay. With the help of this application. Okay. So I want to create a new virtual machine. So then what OS I can install cities. This our software support Windows OSs, Linux, Solaris means Linux. Okay. IBM OS by 2, Mac OSs, other type of OSs also. Other means DOS, novel netware, okay, other kind of stuff also. Windows OSs also you can see different OS support is also available. In Linux also different OS support is there. So what is this? This is I will have to create a virtual machine. Then I have to install an operating system. then I can able to install a application, I can run it. But whatever I'm doing inside a virtual machine, it does not affect on my physical machine. It does not affect on my physical machine. Okay. Look at here it is. This is my physical machine. In the physical machine, I created a virtual machine. Physical machine having a physical hardware, right? Like physical CPU is there, RAM is there, hard disk is there, network is also there, right? And this virtual machine utilize these physical resources to run this virtual machine. So virtual machine utilize your physical resources, like a virtual machine having a virtual CPU. It's not physical CPU, virtual CPU. And there is a RAM for allocation to this, not virtual RAM, you should not say, but it's a kind of RAM for virtual machine. The RAM it is consuming from physical RAM. Virtual hard disk, virtual hard disk to store this OS and application data. It's stored in the hard disk. That is virtual hard disk here. And connected to network. It will connect it to the network, right? So it means there is a virtual NICs also there. Okay. So virtual machines required virtual hardware. Physical machine required physical hardware. Without physical machine, you cannot create any virtual machine. Okay. Understand some point about virtual machine, not anything, just virtual machine. Guys, what is virtualization? Virtualization is a software representation of something like it can be a server or a network or storage or it can be an application. It is virtual representation of something. Okay. What it is, it creates a software based or virtual representation of application, server, storage, and networking to reduce IT expenses while boosting your efficiency and usability. Okay. How it is reduce IT expenses? We'll see that one. Yeah, that's the cloud I explained. Guys, I want to run certain servers. So what I have to do, for example, I have to take a physical server. I need 4 5 different servers are required. So what I have to do, I have to go to purchase physical servers, right? These physical servers are costly. They have their own CPU. Okay, so they have CPUs. Multiple CPUs are there. Servers means multiple CPUs, high RAM capacity, storage. Okay, storage like a hard disk or SSDs, SCSI, storage, network. Okay, okay. And for example, I'm running a web server here, and it is not utilizing more resources. I need a for 3 web servers or maybe 3 different servers are required for my application to run. But each server is utilizing only 20%. only 20%. Guys, there is no written value of physical hardware. No written values, no direct once you purchase, it is become second hand only. Okay. So you have to utilize this better. Utilize it to the higher percent, not more than 80%, not more than 80%, below 80% and above the existing percent. Like at least use 70% of resources or 60% of resources at least to list. Okay. So you should not use 100%, 90%, you should not use it, not above 80, 85, you should not cross it. But you have to utilize the performance, total system capacity, you have to utilize it. But you cannot do it. Why? Because of it depends upon the load on the system, like an application load, access load, traffic, all this calculated. So that much only it will perform. So I want to reduce the cost of purchasing more and more server for each and every server requirement. Okay. So what I have to do? I virtualize this hardware. I virtualize this hardware using a hypervisor by installing a simple hypervisor software or a framework on this hardware. This hypervisor, this hypervisor virtualize your hardware. So then I can able to create a different virtual machines in your single physical machine. One single physical machine, I can create multiple virtual machines. I can create multiple virtual machines. Okay. I can create multiple virtual machines. See, it is now I can utilize this specific hardware. I can utilize the best utilization. Instead of purchasing four servers, I running four virtual machines inside. So it is cost will be reduces, physical hardware cost will be reduces now. Purchasing of physical hardware cost will be reduces. Okay. So this is it is reducing IT expenses means. It's not only for virtual machines, guys, just for our understanding. I explained about virtual machines because you are already seeing virtual machines in my system in both the VMware, both VMware workstation as well as a virtual box. This is VMware work. This is also here. Also, I created a few things. Already, you have seen these things. See, this is my Windows server, and this is my client machine. So I want to practice this. I want a server machine. So I created it. For some practical, I need a very old system like a Windows 2003 server. So I created it, installed a OS inside, and do practice. This is mainly for application development. So instead of creating in my own PC, so created this machine, installed with Windows 10, and there I installed mm, an application like Eclipse, Java, Tomcat server to develop an application and build some all application for a testing purpose. Okay, so just like we created two applications, the same kind of outcome. So this is a webware. It's a simple small web application. It's a simple Java and HTML only, nothing more inside. Okay. So this is another same application, same Java type, but it includes the Marvin test cases also inside. Okay. For Marvin project related, this is simple web project for how to deploy the WAR files into Tomcat servers, Docker kind of stuff. Okay. So instead of doing in my physical machine, I done in my virtual machine. Any changes I have done, so that is won't affect on my physical machine. Okay. So that's only for a virtual machine kind of stuff because I'm getting little irritation. So point is, guys, are you able to hear my voice or not? Voice is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, finally I got some voice now. Okay. So guys, we'll continue. What is virtualization? It's a create a software-based or virtual representation of something like an application, server, storage, network to edge network. Up to here, it is. This is the main point. Okay. So what is the advantage of this virtualization? It will reduce IT expenses. Virtualization. Virtualization can increase IT agility, flexibility, scalability while creating significant cost saving. Greater workload mobility, increased performance, availability of resources, automated operations. They're all benefits of virtualization that make IT simpler and manage a less costly to one operator. Okay. So again, what is the benefits of virtualization? Benefits of virtualization. Reduce capital and operating costs. Minimize or eliminate the downtime. Increase IT productivity, efficiency, agility, and responsiveness. Faster provisioning of applications and resources. Greater business continuity and disaster recovery. Simple data center management. Simplified data center management. Availability of true software defined data center. Okay. So what is all these things, guys? Here it is. I told I want a machine. So, for example, there is a user required in a server to deploy his application, to run his application, or test his application. So, you have to go and market and purchase another server. Okay. You have to put one more server, pay for the server, install his environment here, then give access the user to access the server. So, how much it is things will happen? It increases your capital expenditures. Operating expenditures means you have to fix the server, connecting IP addresses, operating system. So all these things will uh, required. And maybe the user utilize is very less, 10%, 20%, 30% of utilization of its resources. So what is the best solution is simple virtualization software. Very simple it is. Take a server, install. A hypervisor, virtualize your hardware, and then create a virtual machines as user required. Actually, user is required two CPUs, 4 GB RAM, okay, and a Linux operating system inside. Okay, for this one, you need to buy a 10 CPUs, 18 GB, okay, 32 GB RAM. Okay, that much hardware is not required. Okay. So what is required is a simple machine to run his application or test his application. So if we create a virtual machine, okay, assign the required hardware based on your physical hardware availability, then give the access to this user. The user connected to the virtual machine and run his application or test his application. Simple, right? That is why it is called it reduces capital and operating cost. Okay. Increase IT productivity, agility, faster provisioning of applications resources. So all these things are meaning is very simply say, so when you required, you can able to start to deploy virtual machine, give a connectivity. And another project is came. So you don't need to buy again and again physical hardwares. You can utilize your physical existing hardware by hypervising them. Okay. You can create a multiple virtual machines. And I'm talking only in the virtual machine manner. So, but there is other virtualization kind of stuff also. These are the different types of virtualization. These are the different types of virtualization. Okay. Different types of virtualization. So why this is not in this manner? What are the different types of virtualization? Server virtualization, network virtualization, desktop virtualization. Okay. Server virtualization, desktop virtualization, network virtualization, okay, storage virtualization, application virtualization, user experience virtualization, kind of stuff. Okay. So I have written 7 types. Of course, just 5 types are currently an important one. Okay. 7 types are only currently important one. So what are there? Server virtualization, desktop virtualization, network virtualization, application virtualization, and storage virtualization. Okay. Because this user state virtualization, presentation virtualizations are integrated into this application virtualization. Okay. So what is a virtualization? Is a virtual representation of application, server, storage, network, and so many other things also. Same thing I'm written, server virtualization, network virtualization, application, and storage, and desktop virtualization. This virtual representation of these things. Simple guys, this is one line. Second is important one is types of virtualization. Remember first 5 is important. Okay. Then what is server virtualization? Okay. What is the server virtualization? What is server virtualization? Server virtualization enables multiple operating system to run on the single physical server as highly efficient virtual machines. As highly efficient virtual machines. As I explained, all these things only same guys. What is server virtualization? This is server virtualization. Here it is a server contains a physical hardware and we virtualize this physical hardware and we can run multiple virtual machines in the single physical machine. In single physical machine, we can be able to run multiple virtual machines with the different types of operating systems. Okay. So even if we see mine, like that is different part. Mine is desktop virtualization and stuff. Okay. This is server virtualization. Of course, there is so many things related, like what is a network virtualization and what is disk virtualization. Okay, these are all meaningless, so don't want to go that one. This is what I want actually. Shall I use a PPT? That's this is again important. This is I required. Put the picture here. Guys, here it is. Traditional and virtual architecture. See, I have a computer or a server, it is there. I have a physical hardware is there. Then I install an operating system, then I install an application. This is single traditional architecture. In our architecture, in this architecture, it's a little different. We'll see that one. See, okay. You have a hardware and there is a virtualization layer and there is a virtual machine. In the virtual machine, we have operating system and application. See, we can create multiple virtual machines on single physical machine, and each virtual machine having their own operating system and application. For example, this virtual machine is Windows operating system and some application in it. This is Linux, for example. This is less another Linux, or maybe this is Windows Server, and this is a Ubuntu machine. This is Mac machine, like that. Okay. In one physical server, we can run different types of operating systems. Enable multiple operating system to run on a single physical machines. How it is? We can able to create multiple virtual machines on a single physical machine, and these virtual machine having their own operating system. Okay, guys, either your physical laptop or a machine, or maybe it is a Windows server, to make sure that your machine is enabled with virtualization or not. In the olden days, we do not have this, and now it is 64-bit machines are introduced. These 64-bit machines having a feature called a virtualization feature, having a virtualization feature. You can see this one. Virtualization is enabled. It means in this PC, I can able to create or run virtual machines. Okay, okay, virtualization enable. Okay, if you it is showing disabled, how to enable it? Go to the BIOS setting and go to find out where is this virtualization technology. Enable it from there. Okay, enable it from there. This all our big pictures cannot coexist in one place. Go to BIOS setting to enable virtualization technology Go to BIOS setting, enable Intel virtualization technology. For AMD PCs, it may shows virtualization technology. Okay. So it is required little lesser like this. So it is more compatible. And this is also better. Reduce the size. Okay. So go to the BIOS settings. Go to the BIOS settings. Then you can enable virtualization technology inside. If in case it is showing disabled. Okay. So check your system is virtualization is enabled or not. If it is enabled, so then you can able to create and run virtual machines in your PC. Whether it is regular servers or maybe your regular desktops, to make sure that it is virtualization technology is enabled, then only we can able to run it. Okay. Once again, what is server virtualization? Okay. Create and run multiple computer operating system on a single server. Okay. Host server share resources with all virtual machines. Host servers, host server share resources means CPU, RAM, storage will share to the virtual machines by virtualizing it. So this is from Microsoft. That's it is showing hosted on a Microsoft Hyper-V. Allow you to detach, I said no, allow you to detach the computer hosting services or role from the hardware which it runs. Almost all server workloads can run on the virtual machines. User use the server virtualization to reduce number of physically deployed server to optimize resource utilization. Okay, so these are the major points. Okay. Okay. So what is a server virtualization? Once again, what is a server virtualization? We create a virtual machines with the different operating systems, multiple operating systems you can run on single server parallelly. Okay. And we can host different types of applications on it. We're sharing our hardware resources, our physical hardware resources with the virtual machines. Okay. So it is allow you to detach a computer hosting services. It means it will allow you detach your virtual machines from here. You can transfer this virtual machine to another physical machine also possible. Okay. So use server virtualization to reduce number of physical deployed servers to optimize your resource utilization. So finally, we got what is a hypervisor. What is hypervisor? People will tell in different sentences for a hypervisor kind of stuff. Hypervisor is a virtualization platform. It virtualizes your hardware resources. With the help of hypervisor, we can able to create and run virtual machines. Still, I want to add some more point to it. Okay. Hypervisor decouples virtual machine from physical machine or hardware, or detach, decouples, detach virtual machines. It virtualize your hardware resources. Okay. So it creates virtual CPU, virtual RAM, virtual hard disk kind of stuff. Okay. You can also say hypervisor is the firmware from where, like a firmware, firmware or firmware. Okay. Which creates virtual resources to run, to create and run virtual machines on physical machine. Okay. So different ways you can able to tell. Virtual hypervisor is a firmware. Okay. It is a virtualization platform which is used to create and run virtual machines on a single physical machine. Okay. It decouples the hardware resources, virtual machines from your physical machine. Okay. It's not like a tightly coupled. It is loosely coupled. Decouple, or you can say loosely coupled. Loosely coupled. You can use another word is loosely coupled. That is loosely coupled. So when you want it to remove, you can remove it. Okay. Loosely coupled. Okay. So this is what hypervisor. Different hypervisors are there, guys. Different hypervisors are into the market. I'm giving a small hypervisor kind of stuff. So that is hypervisor servers, server hypervisors. Okay. So type 1 hypervisors, you can say a type 1 hypervisors. So here I have written type 1 hypervisors. VMware, vSphere kind of stuff. VMware, vSphere, ESXi. The recent version is 8. You can try VMware, vSphere, current version. Okay. This is Workstation Pro, but we want a vSphere. Okay. It is 8 updated too. Okay. It is 8 version is there. So we have up to that update is 7, but we have 8 now. Where is your document? Yes. 7.2 is a older one. Now it is 8. Okay. What is a VMware, guys? VMware is an organization. VMware has lot of products. One of the type 1 virtualization means server virtualization product is vSphere. ESXi is a hypervisor. vSphere is a product. Okay. ESXi is a hypervisor. Exactly say the original ESXi. This is ESXi is a our hypervisor. Hyper-V is a product, like a application. Application. ESX is directly we can install into the physical machine. I have already done that one, so maybe it is working or now. Now it is working or not because I used it 2, 3 months back. So this is my EXI host. Okay. So just start running. Okay. Another one is Hyper-V. From Microsoft, launch Hyper-V. This Hyper-V is also type 1 virtualization. Citrix Zen servers. Zen server latest version is I don't know. So that's a tricky one. Citrix is a company for type 1 server virtualization purpose. Okay, this is the software. Proximox VE. One more is that is called from Red Hat. Red Hat is an organization, Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization. Different virtualization catalyst. See it is hypervisors. So I'll take one more paintbrush, guys. Look into it, guys. This is my server. Server means it's a plain server. Only it contains a hardware. Okay. It contains a CPUs. Okay. This is the hardware layer. Like hardware layer it is. It contains CPU, RAM, storage, network. Okay. On the top of this one, I installed a hypervisor. And I given a list of hypervisors, right? I given a list of hypervisors. You can install anything. For example, you install from VMware, you install ESXi. Okay, ESXi. So then it is a server with a virtualization server. It is. Look at this. Okay. Now this machine. Now you can able to create virtual machines inside. See, this is my ESXi machine. I will click enter. See, it is VMware ESXi 7.0.1 I installed inside. Okay. So there it is a URL. So look at the URL. Okay. So I'm logging to my server. I cannot create virtual machines inside because it's a small frame where it is. Okay. So 105 or not? Yeah, 102. Sorry. It is a simple interface. You cannot do anything. If I go to F2, then to change some settings inside. I can't create anything. It's a very lightweight, what we can say, kernel it is. 102. Yeah, okay. Yeah, why I'm getting like this? Because there is a certain differences or maybe time differences or certification difference. Root and password. So this is my vSphere. It's a product to connect to the ESXi. So you can see VMware ESXi, I connected it. Okay. So you can see CPU primary kind of storage. I will show my virtual machine. See, this is my virtual machine inside. This is my virtual machine. See, this is my virtual machine. I'm starting this virtual machine. See, it is my virtual machine running inside this ESXi host. Okay. So where it is running in this one, I created a virtual machine. Okay. and I install an operating system that is CentOS 7 inside. I'm maxing this virtual machine right now. Where it is, where it is, here it is. This is my virtual machine. I have to click here. Okay. That's IP address of this machine is um, 86. Last one is 86. See, this is my virtual machine. Okay. Where this virtual machine is running? In this host. Means in this server. Host means machine, guys. Machine means it can be a computer, laptop, desktop, server. Generally, we call server as a host. Okay. What is a host? So here it is, my server. Inside a server, I created a virtual machine. Now it is running. How to connect this server? How to connect this machine? How to connect this machine from outside using some, this is my desktop. Okay. In my desktop, that is a Linux PC. I said it is Linux. So I have to use some SSH protocol like PuTTY application. With that one, I am connecting. So go to PuTTY. Its IP address is 172.16.194.86. Accept root. So where I'm login, I log into this virtual machine using PuTTY application. And where it is running in the remote virtualization server. In a ESXi server it is running. Okay. So like this, I can create multiple number of virtual machines here. I think currently it is only one machine I created. Okay. Only one machine I created. I can create more virtual machines like this. Click it, create a new virtual machine. Next, put the machine name. So I put a machine name like maybe it says sent. 1 second, guys. Two. Okay. OS version is Linux. It is. Which OS you want to install? Linux. I want to install Amazon Linux or CentOS Linux, CentOS 7. Next, where you want to store? I want to store in a store VM place in the data. And how much memory you want to give? I want to give only 512. 512 is too much, 256 MB RAM. Hard disk is 16. Okay, minimum is 512. Okay. And what network you want to connect? What hard disk you want to connect? So this is for Linux OSs are there. Select Linux OS. Okay. Mm. VM network connection like this. Finish. See, one more virtual machine is created. Where I created? In the centralized server. What is that centralized server? Is my virtualization server. It is one single server. I created two virtual machines inside. I can run both virtual machines. Okay. No, nothing, no sound at all from your. So I don't know what happened suddenly. Yesterday you are very good. Today you suddenly it is. Okay. Guys, similar to the VMware ESXi and Hyper vSphere, Okay. So Microsoft Hyper-V also same thing. Only thing is software is little different and connection is different. But virtual machines are virtual machine. You take a machine, empty machine, install Microsoft Hyper-V 2019 inside, and it is a virtualization server. There you can able to connect and create a virtual machines and access the virtual machines. Okay. Even if you go to the Citrix Zen server, okay, Proximus, VE, Red Hat, RHEV, okay, Linux. So other Linux is also there. That's will separately we'll discuss. Okay. So these are all different hypervisors. These are all different hypervisors. It is a kind of softwares which enables your server to create virtual machines inside. Okay. And you are installing these hypervisors on the hardware directly, just like a OS. So this is called a bare metal virtualization. What is bare metal virtualization? It is directly if you are able to install on the physical hardware. So that is called a bare metal virtualization. And there is another point is there. It is a type 1 virtualization. And server virtualization is type 1 virtualization. Okay. Do you understand up to here? At least something confusion is there. I'll show you this. Okay. Here it is a server. Okay. Here is a server. And in the hardware, you install hypervisor, any of these hypervisor. So then you can able to create virtual machines. You can install a OSs. Okay. Hypervisors within OS as feature is like this. You got a Windows like a Hyper-V. Okay. Hyper-V is also comes with a Windows Server 2008, 64-bit, 2008 R2, 2012, 2016, 2019, 2022, all these things. Okay. And also available in Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 11 in both Pro and Enterprise editions. And 64-bit must be there. Okay. Next, KVM, QEMU comes in Linux from Enterprise Linux 6 onwards. Enterprise Linux 6. In Linux, you have a different Linuxes are there from Enterprise Linux 6. It means RHEL 6 from Enterprise Linux 6s. Example, Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6, CentOS 6, like this. Okay. So these hypervisors with OS as a feature it will come. Hypervisors are individually, these are different direct hypervisors. This is along with an operating system. These are all type 1 virtualization only, guys. Then what is this type 2 virtualization? Guys, I am using a Windows 10 desktop. I'm using some Windows 10 or Windows 11. Okay. I need a virtualization. I don't have type 1 or a type 2 like that. Okay. As a feature, I'm not getting. For my PC, already I showed I need a virtualizations concept is required. So what I will do it, of course, I have a hardware, CPU, RAM, hard disk, network, right? And I have operating system. I have a regular operating system is there. On the operating system, I will install a hypervisor application. Hypervisor application. With the help of this application, I can able to create virtual machines. Okay, that's what I'm doing is I showed starting virtual machines like this only. Look at here, what is this hypervisor applications? Okay, hypervisor applications, hypervisor applications from VMware workstation. Okay, from VMware player, from Oracle Virtual Box, which is free. Okay, workstation is paid. Okay, these are the main thing. Which one is right now not there? It is Microsoft Virtual PC is there earlier. Now it is not there. Okay, VMware Workstation, VMware Player, Oracle Virtual Box. So this using this software. This is VMware Workstation. Using this software, what I'm doing is I created a Windows 10 machine installed with required application I'm running. Or I've installed a Windows server here, and then I'm doing all the domain controller DHCP DNS configuration inside. I know I cannot purchase another machine to install Windows server, right? Simply, I utilize my PC. When I required, I'll open it and use it. Okay. Instead of removing my OS and installing Windows server. So tomorrow I have a Linux classes. Again, I have to purchase Linux machine. Not required. I'll create a Linux virtual machine. I can do it. It's simplifying my local requirement. Okay. Type 1 virtualization is a centralized virtualization, server virtualization, and centralized virtualization. Okay. Type 1 virtualization is server virtualization, which is centralized. Which is centralized virtualization. But this is not centralized. So local. Okay, as spelling mistake, no problem. Okay, this is centralized virtualization. It is Local. Local means in my desktop only. With the help of these applications, I can create a virtual machines. I can run any operating system inside as per my requirement. Right? I may use Windows 10. I may use Linux. I may use some other operating system in it. Okay. This type of virtualization, we call it as a type 2 virtualization. In server virtualization, there is a type 1 virtualization and type 2 virtualization. What is type 1 virtualization? It is a bare metal virtualization. It is the hypervisor is installed on the hardware directly, which is used to create for a virtual machines in the server. And it is centralized server. Anyone connected to this virtual machine, sorry, anyone connected to the machine, physical machine and create a virtual machine, or anyone can able to access your virtual machine in the network. But here it is local. These virtual machines mostly isolated for my desktop only. The VMs are isolated. Isolated means only you can able to use it maximum. So very less compatible to the network. Here it is VMs can access VM will access PH network. Okay. VMs are isolated. Okay. This is a type 1 virtualization. So this is type 1 virtualization, type 2 virtualization. What is type 2 virtualization? You have your own operating system on top of operating system with the help of an application. You can able to create and run virtual machines and you can run different operating system in your desktop. That is type 1 virtualization. And this type 1 virtualization also part of desktop of virtualization. Desktop virtualization. Now, I'm giving another picture to understand guys type 1 virtualization, type 2 virtualization. Type 1 means bare metal virtualization. What is the other one is hypervisor directly installed on the hardware. Okay. Hypervisor directly install the hardware. So it is server virtualization, centralized access. Provide centralized access. VMs in server can access from network. Type 2 virtualization. Hypervisor application installed on OS. Okay. One. physical machine OS. Okay, it is it is isolated from network access. Okay. Hypervisor applications is VMware workstation, also player, Oracle, VirtualBox, Microsoft Virtual PC, not available, and stuff. These are all type 1 virtualization. Also, I don't need to write the hypervisor kind of stuff. These are all type 1 virtualization. Okay, so this is another point of type 1 virtualization. This is the last one. Okay, of course, this is already I explained, guys. This is type 1 virtualization. And you are a desktop administrator to connect your remote server, just like I connected to my server here to manage my virtual server. Sorry, server. I am accessing my ESXi server, my virtualization server. I'm accessing it. I create a virtual machine. I'm monitoring my virtual machines. Okay. Monitoring my storages, modifying storage. So I can admit to administrate my remote machines. Okay. From the desktop tool. Okay. That's what I have written here. Okay. But once you created a virtual machine inside, so you have to access the virtual machine, right? I'm accessing the what virtual machine using PuTTY application with the help of SSH. Okay. If the virtual machine is Windows virtual machine, then I have to use RDP to access or PowerShell kind of stuff. Or maybe sometimes you may require to use VNCs like a real VNC, Tiger VNC kind of stuff. The client will access, like for example, guys, there is a user is required a virtual machine. He raised the ticket. I want a virtual machine with two CPUs, 4 GB RAM, 200 GB hard disk, okay, with one network connectivity. Of course, network connectivity is also required, right? Or something like that, okay? And with a Linux operating system in it. So I'm an admin. So what I will do it, I will take the ticket, see the ticket contents. I'll create a virtual machine in the server. Now I have to give access to the client. What access I have to give? Server or a Linux machine, virtual machine. So I have to give Linux machine access. So what IP address of Linux machine? What is that SSH key or a username password? I have to share to the client. Then client will connect and say, yes, I can able to access. The ticket will be closed. So this is a virtualization. Guys, there is another virtualizations also there, like a desktop virtualization, network virtualization, storage virtualization kind of stuff. But for your understanding, the fewer points are important. First one is important to understand is server virtualization only. First of all, what is virtualization? Second one is like a virtual, that is virtualization also different naming, different kind of stuff also there. Okay. If you go to different places, you will get different statements. What is virtualization? That's a simple statement itself. You will get a lot of kind of stuff. See, there is so many things are showing. vCenter, vSphere. It's okay. Okay. So, what is a virtual machine? Or sorry, what is virtualization? Is a function as same as it is physically existing. Okay. It is existing. It's not imaginary. It's real. It is existing, but it is decoupled or detached from the physical resources. Virtual representation, software defined, or SDN, software defined networks. These are all virtualization concept. Docker is also virtualization concept only. Docker is a virtualization concept only. Docker containers, Docker images. This is also virtualization concept. Application virtualization related one. Okay. So what is virtualization? Software defined or a virtual representation of server, virtual representation of desktop, virtual representation of application or storage, or it can be a network. Okay, that is what virtualization means. It's a virtual representation of something. What is the advantage? To reduce number of physically hosted devices, physical network, physical storages, number of physical servers will be reduced with the help of these virtualizations. Okay. So the not required to purchase each and for each and every service, each and every application running, you don't require to buy new new hardware servers. You can best utilize your server by running, virtualizing it and creating virtual machines and run your applications inside. The concept is called as server virtualization. What is it is? You can run multiple operating systems in a single physical machine or single physical server. So how it is? Take a hardware, take a server hardware, install hypervisors. Depends upon your organization. Either you can use ESXi, Hyper-V, Xen Server, Proximox, or Red Hat Virtualization. Install a hypervisor, connect to the server using remote tools. Okay. Create a virtual machine, install an operating system, install an application, which one you want to run. Okay. And access the virtual machine and configure the virtual machine as per your requirement and give access to the virtual machine. This is server virtualization. And this type of virtualization is called type 1 virtualization, centralized virtualization. What is type 2 virtualization? It is also part of desktop virtualization. Okay. In the user desktop, you can create and run virtual machines with the help of hypervisor applications like a VMware Workstation, VMware Player, Oracle VirtualBox. With the help of these applications, you can able to create and run virtual machines inside. Okay, this is a small information about virtualization. Your server required to support virtualization platform means the server is required to support virtualization platform means I want to shut down this one. It's nothing. So host shut down. Shut down. Okay, I'm shutting down from the remote on. Okay. So to create a machine run, so then we need to enable the virtualization inside. Okay. and different types of virtualization. I explained about server virtualization, and there is a desktop virtualization, network virtualization. Okay, things also there. If you want, I will add that point also, but really, this is enough for you. Desktop virtualization has so many things. There, my. Uh, I showed only one desktop virtualization, that is client-side virtualization. Client-side virtualization means at client-side, the virtual machines will run. It's like a desktop. This is client-side virtualization. Type 2 virtualization is client-side virtualization. This is type 2 virtualization. It allows virtual machine to run on the client computers, provide an application compatible through the allow user to run virtualized instance of earlier operating system and application. Okay. This is not important. This is understand basic points of virtualization, advantage of virtualization, and what is hypervisor. Okay. It virtualize hardware resources. It allow user to create and run virtual machines. Hypervisor decouples or detach virtual machine from your physical machine. So firmware is used which allow to create virtual resources to create and run virtual machines on a physical machines. Okay. Another terminology is loosely coupled. Okay. That's the point of virtualization. Anybody? Anything you want to say? You understand, not understand? Okay. So take a break, guys. Okay. There is thumbs ups are there.